everyone, what's going on? It's 2 minutes to review. It's Matt.
And it's Zach.
This is how you remind me of what we really are. That's right. These guys.
No, you can't. No, you can't break me this early, Matt.
Yes, I can. Absolutely. If I have to go through with it, you have to go through with it. I'm making this as fun as possible.
You're the one who put me through this.
Do I have to show you the photograph?
Oh, 2 puns?
Look.
Great job. I'm proud. I'm not upset. You're a real rock star at this, Matt.
Oh, hey now.
No, that's a different one.
If you can't tell, we're reviewing the new one from Nickelback. Someday, somehow, we'll get to this review.
We should probably just skip to the
if we don't
our sponsors at this point before we lose any. But yeah, we've discussed at length the, let's put it nicely, love-hate relationship that many have with Nickelback. In fact, one of the very early episodes of Am I Missing Something, we literally dedicated to analyzing how a band could be as popular as Nickelback, yet be also as hated as Nickelback. I mean,
actually, there was a thing that just came out that essentially the guys in Nickelback said, yeah, we did it all on purpose. I don't know how much I believe of that, but I think it's funny that they're trying to turn the trolling around.
They know how to take a good sense of humor. They know that no matter what, their bank account is not going to be unimpacted by it. Like, and they even said that in the Am I Missing Something episode. It's clear that they have a good sense of humor, that they don't take themselves seriously. But here we are in the year 2022, 5 years after they released their last one, we have Nickelback's 10th album, Get Rollin'. And just that title alone is probably going to get a lot of people to react in a certain way. And, you know, like we mentioned, there's going to be some fans who they hear Nickelback's name, they go, yeah, awesome. And there's going to be a lot who go, oh no, as soon as they hear Nickel before it even finishes the sentence. I'm sure our little snarkiness at the beginning of this episode kind of gave away where both Matt and I fall into those categories. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're a big fan of the Canadian rock group? But I mean, let's go back. Like, again, they are a massive. I mean, they just got announced to be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Hey,
they still sell a stupid amount of albums, both from the back catalog and new stuff. They're going to probably announce a big amphitheater tour. There's definitely still a fan base after all these years. So, you know, without further ado, Matt, would you like to go first? Would you like to share your thoughts on Nickelback's first new album in 5 years, Get Rollin'?
Yes, Zach. I'm ready to burn it to the ground with this review.
Oh, another one. A little quick reminder, because in case for those who haven't listened to a past episode of 2 Minutes to Review, the longest review in under 2 minutes wins this little healthy battle that Matt and I have. So, Matt, I'm going to count you down. Let's see if you can give the longest review in under 2 minutes.
This is how you remind me?
2, 1, go!
So you know what you're going to get with Nickelback. None of this should really be a surprise to you at this point in time, considering they're over 10 albums at this point. They're not changing their formula. Essentially, what you're getting here is the equivalent of pop rocks. It's like they're good for a time. They're not good for you. You know this, but yet you continue to put them in a bottle of soda and see if your stomach will explode. So essentially what Nickelback is trying to do on this album, a lot of it, some of it sounds overproduced, like San Quentin and Vegas Bomb, you know, the soccer mom metal. I also found it kind of interesting that they decided to recycle Edge of a Revolution and turn it into Skinny Little Miss and made it about a woman, but that's just me. Of course, they had to have their ode to nostalgia, a la Photograph, in a song like Those Days. High time you see Nickelback trying to jump on that country metal type bandwagon. But then what's very interesting to me is Nickelback, normally a band that puts out an album that you want to listen to from start to finish, just because, you know there's going to be some gems toward the end of the album, maybe another single that they might put out. But I really feel like they kind of ran out of steam toward the end of the album on Horizon, Standing in the Dark, and Just One More Time. they all sound like a generic rock band could have put them out. Granted, Nickelback isn't the most unique sounding band in the world, but they're Nickelback. They are like the kings of generic rock, and this just sounds like any other band could have put out these songs. So it shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody what you're getting on here. And if you like Nickelback, you're going to like it. If you don't like Nickelback, they're not going to make you like it on this album.
All right, time's locked in. Out of 5 Canadian maple leaf flags, how many Canadian maple leaf flags, aka stars, would you give this album?
So you're going with maple leaves on this.
Yeah.
I was going to say photographs.
Yeah, that would be too creative for a band that's not that creative. Oh. Went there.
I don't want to come off as jaded on this, but honestly, there's nothing in here that makes you want to listen to this album all that much more than what you may want to. Like, and that's a shitty way of just saying that you're not going to listen to this album over and over again. Like, there's still people who probably love Silver Side Up or Dark Horse or All the Right Reasons because they have very memorable, unique Nickelback songs on there. This one, not so much, in my opinion. I think I'm going to have to go with 2.5 stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Before we get into too much more discussion about this, let me just rip off this Band-Aid and get into my review.
All right.
Let's see if I can give a longer review than you in under 2 minutes.
All right.
Count me down.
All right. Just make sure there's not something in your mouth. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So the songs off Get Rollin' solidify Nickelback's goal of essentially becoming a modern, blue-collar, bro-friendly version of Def Leppard. They solidify their status as a band that plays radio-friendly arena rock that frankly panders to the casual fan who loves those stereotypical tropes of rock but doesn't really have the willpower to explore anything beyond FM radio. It panders to 2 types of audiences, and I'm sorry to generalize here, but the truth is it panders to those who either go gaga for songs that nonchalantly lists out everything they consider to be cool and badass in high school over some loud guitars, or to those who consider the ultimate way to express heartache or even just have tender moments at proms, the best soundtrack to be ballads. Diehard fans, they're going to love this album. They're going to fall head over heels, and they're going to quickly turn to Get Rollin' as a sense of escapism, a way for them to live out their rock and roll lifestyle dreams that they never really got to. But as someone like me, frankly, who's always been skeptical of Nickelback, and frankly, any type of rock that they essentially represent, this type of rock and roll escapism still has no appeal to me, and frankly, I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, if today was your last day and you had to give out of 5 maple leaves, what would you give this album?
This is being extremely generous and me trying to not be, like you said, jaded. I don't mean to crap on people's tastes. If Nickelback is really what revs up your engine, then good for you. If it leads you to other bands, good for you. But I'm being considerate when I'm giving it 2 stars. It's just any skeptics of Nickelback are going to just be more convinced that Nickelback is not for them. And that's what this album kind of helped solidify for me.
Well, it sounds like you gave your album review for all the right reasons. So congratulations.
I mean, and it really, I don't want to say it's a lazy album, but it's a pandering album. Like they know their audience. They know what they want to be. They know they want to be the Def Leppard of their generation. They want to be edgy enough without being offensive or to rub people the wrong way. I find very little satisfying with this album, let alone most of Nickelback's songs.
Okay.
And at least they knew better than to try to be more than that on this album. Whereas I feel like Feed the Machine, they definitely tried to be like proving like, yeah, no, we can rock. Here it's like no, we know who we are. We know what will get us to play amphitheaters half full at least, if not more. Like, and good for them.
And I guess maybe someday they'll put out something that you like.
Won't hold my breath. Maybe just even trying to think of even more ways to justify this album. I know that's the kind of point of this whole episode. To me, it just feels like whatever. That's what this album makes me feel like. Whatever.
Well, I mean, being in the here and now in 2022, I think
You're just
that.
like trying.
Oh, I'm not trying. This is easy at this point.
You're putting more thought into the puns than Chad Kroger is into his lyrics. I want to throw that little critique out there too.
So, giving my opinion earlier with it is soccer mom metal. That's what this is. Like,
yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Well, soccer mom rock. Let's not even give it.
No, because when you hear, and I'm going to use your comparison of Def Leppard. When you hear Def Leppard, that's rock, right? That's rock to soccer moms. But when you hear like guitars turned up loud, a lot of distortion, that's metal to them. So while we may not, us metal purists don't think of it as metal, I mean, to somebody it is. And it's going to be
funny. I would even argue that there's some people who would consider Def Leppard metal. So that actually only solidifies your reasoning for calling it soccer metal, because it's the people who like the idea of loud music, but don't fully know how loud it can get.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. But like San Quentin, listening to the lyrics, it's clearly about some dude who wanted to do something and he did it for rock and roll, and like the lyrics are absolutely ridiculous. But somebody who's drunk off of a couple buds at a concert is going to just totally get into it and scream rock and roll and Freebird at the top of his lungs because he's got nothing else original to say, and is going to enjoy the shit out of it. And Vegas Bomb honestly reminds me of if Nickelback was tapping into Hinder.
It's just all of like it. It's what makes me kind of hate a lot of modern hard rock. It's just that it's all they are saying is rock and roll will never die, or rock and roll, like, enough. Talk about something more.
And that's honestly where I think the indie genre, I think, gets it right. Like, none of them are doing that. None of them are saying that.
Yeah.
But they're just like, they're being very creative. And anybody who's still left, and this term kind of kills me, in this post grunge rock, because ever since Nirvana, the end of Nirvana and the end of grunge, okay, well, you're just classifying everything after that as post grunge. Okay, fine. If we're going to do that, then you've got a ton of bands that are on the radio with loud turned up guitars, and they're considered to be post grunge. So Nickelback, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say Nickelback gets lumped in with bands like 3 Days Grace and God, I can't even think of some of their names anymore. Like Breaking Benjamin, even though I think Breaking Benjamin has got way more talent than Nickelback ever did. Hinder, any of that garbage rock, that bro rock, really is what it is. That's what they're lumped in with.
And it's funny. There's one band that kind of gets lumped into that group that I'm constantly surprised at how good they are, and they are proof that, you know what, this hard rock can still be radio friendly and interesting at the same time. I'm talking about Alter Bridge. They do such a great job at kind of finding that fine line. And spoiler alert for people listening to this, their latest album, Pawns and Kings, may or may not be one of my favorite albums of 2022. Tune in for a special episode coming up on that. But to me, a band like Alter Bridge, it's like they really, you can argue that they could fall into the same tropes as Nickelback, and yet they do a great job at the fine balance of technicality and intricate kind of musicianship, but good songwriting. So to me, it's like there's proof that like you can still write a song that will make you want to tune into the radio and hope to hear it without just sugarcoating it so much that you just get nauseated from constantly hearing about it.
Right. And that's why the comparison of, this is just Pop Rocks. This is candy. This is, it's not good for you. Like at Halloween, you're going to shovel at least 15 Snickers in your face before you realize I shouldn't have eaten 15 Snickers. Should have stopped at like 2. And it's like you keep going back to this, or you listen to this in the hopes of it's going to give you something more than just that initial sweetness, that initial, fulfillment of, okay, I wanted to eat something great. I had a Snickers. And it's, by the way, not a sponsor. And
if they'd like to be, though, please let us know.
But it's like you have to at some point stop, or you're going to get sick. And that's where I think they kind of hit it on, or there was one of the articles that I read that kind of hit it on the head, saying that the reason why Nickelback was so hated was because you couldn't get away from it, because you had a song literally on every radio station. Like you had some on the rock stations, some on the pop stations, some on the light rock stations, or like the more like adult type stations. There was so much Nickelback out there at one point that it's like you couldn't escape Nickelback. And this album, I think, will run its course fairly fast, just like a couple of their last ones have. And I think Nickelback, with them being away for a while, may also maybe gain some fans back, because you're not hearing them everywhere. And it's like, oh man, I haven't heard Rockstar in a while, or I haven't heard.
I don't know. I'm torn about that. Well, I could be. I think there's a great chance of they've become such a meme for whenever someone thinks of such a hated band, they automatically think of Nickelback. Or you constantly hear of Imagine Dragons, they're going to be the new Nickelback, or this band, they're going to be the new Nickelback. Like they become the epitome of insert Nickelback's name whenever you talk about like bands that people hate or think they suck. But to your point, you just named some songs that a whole generation of people love, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Right.
I would even look to a band like Blink-182. Now, granted, music-wise, they're very different, and they have much more. They've always had more love than Nickelback, but that's a band that went through a period of no one, even when the 3 original members did reunite, it didn't have as much interest. Then Tom left, and they had some interest. People liked what they were doing with Matt Skiba. But now, in the year 2022, when pop punk is the new classic rock, I hate to say that out loud because that makes me nauseated. Literally, the hottest ticket next to Taylor Swift is Blink-182's reunion tour of Tom. I mean, just that wave of peak popularity and newness to barely anyone really noticing, to back to like just Led Zeppelin like godness. And it came through like
easy with that comparison.
Well, the freaking hype around this reunion tour, I mean, it's insane. But I mention that because who knows? Maybe in not even 5 years, Nickelback won't have to do any new music because all their hits are enough to keep them in stadiums. That people will go, oh, they will look back at them as kind of, even Limp Bizkit to a certain degree is a great example of everyone crapping on, but people wanting to. I mean, you could argue how successful their last tour in the States really was, but people kind of were like, well, second guessing themselves, going, were they really as bad as I remember them being? Let me listen to it again. Oh, I remember that. So who knows? It'll be a circle of life moment, and everyone will be back in the Nickelback wagon.
All I'm going to say is wrestlers turn face and heel all the time.
That's true. And all I'm going to say, and this is my final thoughts on Nickelback's Get Rollin', unless if you have always been a diehard Nickelback fan, don't waste your breath. Just go listen to Alter Bridge's Pawns and Kings for a better hard rock album. But with that, as we always say, our opinions don't really matter. What really matters are the times. Not just Morris Day and the times, but the times that it took us to actually review this album.
Oh.
Matt, would you like to know what time you came in?
I think we should just be shaking hands and sign off. I don't think even the times matter at this point.
You sure? Because it sounds like you already know that you went literally 2 seconds over the 2-minute mark. You were so close to just giving a perfect 2-minute review. but you came in at 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Well, I'm going to choose to look on the silver side of things, silver side up, if you will, and say I'm giving you this one.
Yeah.
1 minute, 1 minute, 27 seconds.
I'm not proud of this one.
It's okay.
But here we are.
I figured you out. I got you.
I wanted to make a dark horse reference to me winning here, but I don't even want to give this that.
You're just feeling way too damn good about your win.
No. Well, you know what, though? You, the fellow listener, tell us. Are we overreacting? Do we just not understand how brilliant Chad and the rest of Nickelback are?
Should we stop making puns?
Should we stop making puns? Should we show more respect to the Canadian gods? Or are you questioning why the hell are we even reviewing Nickelback in 2022? Are you not surprised that it's not a great album, or that we think it's not a great album? Either way, let us know at Epic Footnote on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. That's right. They now have the little, did you notice that, Matt? Get the little @ sign now. You can search for us at Epic Footnote. It's amazing. Crazy times. But subscribe to our YouTube channel to hear more episodes like this, as well as check out a few cool videos. And thank you, not only to you, but also to Lucky 13 Beard Co.
If you need some beard bombs or oils, there is no other place to go other than Lucky 13, the number beardco.com. We are going to give you 10% off of anything that you throw in your cart by using the code EFP10 at checkout. And don't forget to check out our exclusive beard balm and oil with Ed and the guys over at Lucky 13. It is the Lemmy in tribute to everything that he was. Bourbon, tobacco, cola, leather. It smells fantastic. You're going to feel epic. Go to Lucky 13, the number beardco.com. Throw it in your cart. Anything else in there as well. 10% off EFP10 at checkout.
All I'm saying is that the holidays are around the corner. And if you have, whether you have a beard or whether you know someone with a beard, it's a really great holiday gift. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you join us for another episode real soon.
See ya.